Hello everyone, welcome to my backyard. I am here, yes I know I'm outside, like what kind of aesthetic is this? Like what am I even going for? Who even am I? I'm just like casually, voluntarily sitting in the outdoors, trying this new thing. Actually no, it just feels really great outside and I thought I wanted to be outside. Also there are other people outside so you might hear my neighbors, sorry. But I wanted to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and I feel like now is a good time to talk about it because I've kind of been struggling a little bit with my mental health and some kind of heightened anxiety, and I really think that COVID and some other like life circumstances are just kind of rearing it up in me right now, if you will. And you know, when I first started this channel, I think I was a little too preoccupied with making everything seem perfect all the time. And it is true that that is just a facet of my personality. I like to have things put together. I like to make sure everybody's happy and, you know, feel happy in my life. And I tend to kind of put up walls and, you know, not like ignore what's there, but just like try to present the best version of myself. That's the Enneagram 8 in me. I am a very guarded person. And so when I first started this channel, I really only wanted to show like the perfect parts, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's inauthentic because that really is who I am. But as I have kind of built a little baby following of people that talk to me about my videos and message me and, you know, are really, I guess, get something out of following along, which is so cool. Thank you guys so much. I thought it was time to probably be a little bit more open about some things that I struggle with and some elements of my life that aren't perfect. And because I've really been extra struggling, I guess, lately, I thought it would be cool to just kind of have an honest conversation, open up about it, talk to you guys about it, maybe relate to you. I would love to hear if anyone else kind of has mental health struggles going on, especially in light of the world and COVID and the upcoming election and just like so much uncertainty in life right now. I think probably a lot of people are in the same boat as me and maybe struggling a little more than normal. And so if that's you, I would just love to kind of start a dialogue about it and relate to each other. I think that the most powerful thing is being vulnerable and then realizing that you're not alone in your vulnerabilities. Like everyone struggles, everyone goes through hard times, and everyone has heightened anxiety and stress in their life. And I just think it's really cool when we can break down the barriers, which for me is not normal. And I have to really fight against my natural inclination to shut the world off and only present the best version of myself that isn't always 100% authentic. And so I just think it's really cool when I can see that there are other people out there that are going through some of the same things I am, feeling some of the same things I am, and it helps me feel less alone. It helps me feel connected to other people. And I'll be honest, like that's a very hard thing for me to do, is to feel genuinely, authentically connected to other people in a way that doesn't make me feel like I have to have walls up. I wonder if any of this is making sense. I hope so. But all this to say, and excuse my neighbors, they're super cute playing outside, a little mom and daughter, so I'm not going to begrudge them at all if you hear them. Sorry, that's real life. But all this to say, I want to talk about mental health. You guys know that I have OCD, and I want to do a video in and of itself explaining my personal experience with OCD. That's not going to be this video just because I don't have the energy to go through it all right now, to be honest with you. But OCD is a huge part of my everyday. I have a lot of weird like quirks and things that I do, a lot of rituals, a lot of stress and anxiety that come along with having OCD. But 95% of the time, I feel like those things are manageable for me, they're recognizable for me, and even though I still struggle with them, I am at a place in my life and with OCD where I feel like I can control it, I can manage it. It doesn't affect my day to day. And part of that, a big part of that is medication, because I take medication for it every day. But it is true when I say probably 95% of the time, I feel very high functioning. Like I can live my day-to-day life without being impacted by OCD in a way that debilitates me. But lately, probably over the past couple of weeks, maybe even just in the past week, and maybe it's been moving and just a lot of changes that have kind of come to a head in my life, but I've really been struggling, you guys, like feeling a lot more anxious than normal. And I'm a pretty anxious person to begin with. And like I said, I know how to cope with it and I'm really good at managing it. And so when I feel like I've reached a point where it's unmanageable, which I feel like I am at right now, it's just annoying. Like it just frustrates me more than anything, because I wish that I could be better than it, you know? I wish that I could be in control of it, which there goes my brain again. But sometimes I feel like you just have to surrender to it, and you just have to realize like, yeah, my anxiety's high right now and I don't feel my best and I don't feel great right now. I'm stressed out. I'm worried. I've got 5 million thoughts in my brain that just won't go away. I've even in the past couple of weeks dealt with something I've never really dealt with before, and maybe occasionally a couple of times, and definitely like growing up in my childhood, but like anxiety attacks, like I've had a couple of anxiety attacks within the past week, just like, and when I say anxiety attacks, I don't mean like panic attack, like I can't breathe, like insane, you know, overwhelming feeling taking over. I just mean like I'll just start crying for no reason, and I'll just start having obsessive thoughts for no reason. And this is part of my OCD, but I've just been having like weird, like I'll just get so overwhelmed and I'll just get kind of sad and just like stressed and feel like I can't overcome like the things that I'm feeling right now and the way my life is going right now is my forever, and this is like the new norm, and this is what I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of my life. And that just overwhelms me and triggers me and literally just makes me cry for no reason. I mean, it is a reason, but it just feels so weird in the moment to me. Like I can't even control my emotions because I just feel so like just like full of dread, I guess. And that's total anxiety. Like I'm glad that I'm at a point where I can recognize it for sure, but it's just annoying, I guess, because I recognize it and I wish I could rise above it. Like I wish I could be better than it, but I'm not. Like I'm struggling to cope right now. And I'm not used to being in that position. Like, and that's what's so weird. Like I'm not used to being in that position. I'm used to being able to cope and control and deal and live my day to day, but it's just really affecting me. And here are a couple reasons why, I think, as I process in my brain, because processing helps me kind of figure out, okay, this is why you're feeling this way. It's okay to feel this way. And the biggest thing I have to remind myself is you're not always going to feel this way. Is anybody else like that? Like you just hit a point where you're like, I'm miserable right now and I'm always going to be this way. Like anybody else? That is how I've been feeling the past week. And it's just so funny the way it comes, because like Eric and I are moving into this new house and it's so great and like the perfect situation for us. And I'm really loving it. Like this should be a great time for me to be so excited and, you know, feel like a fresh start. But all this anxiety has just come with it. And I think it's number one, just change overall. I think number two is COVID and just the continuation and the realization that it's not going anywhere anytime soon. You know, when COVID first hit, my mom and Tatum came back from New York and they were home for at least 3 months, maybe even more. And it was just great. Like my family was back together. Like if you don't know me, my family is basically the number one most important thing in my life. And not just like in the cheesy typical way, but like in the I'm extremely close to my family. Like My mom is my best friend. And, gosh, I'm gonna cry, you guys. This is weird. I'm crying on YouTube. I don't like this. I'm very close to my sister. You know, my brother and my dad too. Like, we operate as a family unit. And, this is weird. I don't want to cry on YouTube. So it was just really great to have everyone back together under one roof, even though we weren't all under one roof. We were just in the same location for the first time in a while for a long amount of time. It was just great having them back at the beginning of COVID. And so honestly, like, Eric and I both had our jobs, didn't have any problems with like losing a job or anything like that, and still don't. Like, we were very fortunate when COVID first happened that our lives weren't really affected in a huge way. And honestly, they were a little bit better even family-wise because my whole family was back together. Tatum and my mom went back about a month ago, and it's been hard. It's the neighbor's air conditioning, sorry. It's been hard, and my brother, who I'm also very close to, who doesn't appear on the YouTube channel because he just doesn't want to, and that's a decision I totally, you know, get and respect, and you know, don't talk about him that much because of that reason. He was with my dad here in Oklahoma City up until about 2 weeks ago when my dad took him to New York. And so my dad's back in Oklahoma City, and then Eric and I moved, and we're about 20-ish minutes away from him. And so I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels like we're all very separated. So now it's my mom and Tatum and Jack in New York, my brother, my dad in Oklahoma City, and Eric and I about 20 minutes away from him. And so it just feels even more scattered than normal, and I just don't like it. It's probably the biggest cause of my anxiety. And so mix COVID in with that not going away anytime soon, and it's all just heightened. You know, it's not COVID sucks, but at least my family's together. It's COVID still freaking sucks and it's not going away, and now my family has to go back to normal life, and so we're separated. My mom, we were talking on the phone the other day, and she was like, yeah, sometimes life sucks, and we're just in one of those points when life sucks. And that actually gave me a lot of comfort because it made me realize, like, yeah, life freaking sucks right now, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to be in a period where life sucks, and you know, you don't feel great all the time. But why it really impacted me was because it made me have the realization that, like, right now life sucks. Life sucks right now, and life may continue to suck for a little while, but it's not always going to be like this. Like, it will get better, it will go away, we will enter a new season, and new great things will happen. And yeah, that was just really comforting to me because it made me realize, like, this isn't forever. I'm not going to feel like this forever. This is just a season in life. This is just a stressful time full of change and just like weirdness, separation. And I'm ready for it to not feel like this anymore. I'm ready for my family to seem back together. And I think that's what it is. Like, if it wasn't for COVID, I don't think I would be so stressed about my family separation, because my dad would be in New York a lot more, and we could go back and forth and see them, and they could come here more. But like, literally the rules in New York where Tatum and my mom are is if they come here, the second they go back to New York, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, which means Tatum can't go to school, which means she'll have to switch to online schooling for 2 weeks while they quarantine and literally don't leave their house. Like, the rules in New York are understandably and reasonably very strict. And so if my dad goes there at all, he has to quarantine there for 2 weeks and not go anywhere, which means he has to miss work for 2 weeks, which he can't really do right now. And so it just feels restrictive. And, you know, through everything, like, I always have to remind myself, like, I am healthy, Eric is healthy, everyone in my family is healthy. You know, we have plenty of food to eat, we can pay our bills. Like, we're not in a dire situation. We're still extremely fortunate. And, you know, we can pick up the phone and call each other, and that's fantastic. I recognize my privilege for sure. And I know that it could be a whole lot worse for me, but like, that doesn't mean that my feelings aren't valid or the struggles I'm going through aren't real. And I hope some of you also identify with that and know that like, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. As cheesy as that sounds, like, it's okay to be struggling right now. It's okay to be in a place where life sucks a little bit. And it will get better. And so I just, you know, in my struggling with this and in my, you know, heightened anxiety over the past week or two, I've just been trying to focus on the really great things in my life and remind myself of those. I'm trying to be really grateful and have gratitude. And I'm trying to remind myself that this is temporary, that it's okay that my feelings are what they are right now, but that I'm not going to live like this forever, and it's going to be okay. And so those two things have given me a lot of comfort, and I hope maybe they'll give you some comfort too if you happen to be struggling with anything similar. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to make this kind of candid, more, I don't know, raw, downer kind of video. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for listening if you've stuck through this far. It felt good to kind of just talk it out. I'll be okay. Well, I'll be okay. You know, these are really crazy times, and I just feel like the more grace we can give ourselves, the better. The more grace we can give ourselves and give others, the better, you know? So comment down below if you relate to any of this. Let me know. Let me know if I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone, which is very comforting. So I'm going to keep pushing on. I'm going to keep being grateful for what I have and remembering that this is all temporary. Eric is looking at me through the window and doing a funny dance. So I am gonna go make dinner, and yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye!